Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Andrew Missy, and I want to look at the 12 shrines of the Apostle Thomas in India. A few years ago, I went to India to trace the steps of the Apostle Thomas in India. And the tradition is, going back to the time of the Church Fathers, that Thomas, Doubting Thomas, one of the 12 apostles, that he went to India and established Christianity in India. So, I didn't go to all the locations yet. I intend to go back and finish this documentary. But I think it's important to have this information out here that's accessible to the public so that people can be educated. So this is part of my doctoral thesis, and I touched upon this subject, and let's take a look at it now. Pilgrimage is one of the traditional Christian spiritual disciplines. In southern India, there are several places associated with the Apostle Thomas's visit to India. Perhaps pilgrimage to India to visit the places associated with the Apostle Thomas in India can help forge connections between Western and Eastern Christians. I went to Kerala, India, and I spoke to local Christians in order to establish traditions related to Thomas in India. Most of what is encountered is folklore. The oldest source of the story of Thomas in India is in Aramaic, and it's the Acts of Thomas, and it's dated to the late 2nd century. So, if the stories of Thomas the Apostle evangelizing India are true, it's likely that Thomas did indeed visit Muziris, among other places. Kerala, also known as Malabar, is the center of St. Thomas or Marthoma in Indian Christianity. So, let's look at these locations. Kodungalar was known as Muziris in ancient times. It was an ancient port city with which Greeks, Jews, Romans, and Persians traded with India. I'm from America. Where are you boys from?
Kerala.
You're from Kerala?
Yes.
So you're here to visit St. Thomas?
Yeah.
You been here before?
Yeah. No.
It's your first time?
Yes. Yes. Do you like this place?
Yes, it's interesting. St. Thomas was here.
What do you know about St. Thomas? He's asking.
I know St. Thomas.
What do you know about Thomas? Yeah, tell us what you know about Thomas, young man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted
he
to
was
go to the American people.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to tell American people what Indian boys know about St. Thomas.
Yeah.
So tell us what you know.
He was a great.
When he came in,
St. Thomas was what? He was a great man that brought
Yes.
a great disciple.
Yes. He was a great disciple. He came to the Kerala telling about his
to say about Jesus.
great Jesus.
So he came here to teach people about Jesus. It's a great.
And he changes religious.
He brought the gospel to India. Told people about Jesus.
And he was assassinated in Tamil Nadu.
That's right. In Madras or Chennai.
Yes.
Madras.
So good. You boys all know about Thomas.
Yeah.
That's very good.
They're good people.
He's a good person. That's right. Okay, thanks. Thanks, boys. There we go. All right, so what's going on here? This is where Thomas, this is where he came to India at in the first place. I think I'll get in the video in a second. So,
you can see at that end, the seashore and
Here.
the entrance.
let me get in the picture here. So, over here is the entrance. It's the sea. The Indian Sea. The Indian Sea. So this is where Thomas went.
Arabian Sea.
The Arabian Sea.
Arabian Sea.
The Arabian Sea. So Thomas came through the Arabian Sea here to this port area. And this is where he first brought the gospel to India. The name of this place was,
Landed in India.
right here, the name of this place was Muziris, but now you call it what? Bangalore. It's kind of hard to get that just right. So this is the place where the gospel first came in India, here in India. At this church, there's a relic of part of the arm of the Apostle Thomas that was given back to the Indian church decades ago by the Roman Catholic Church.
Relics of St. Thomas.
Kodungallur, also known as Cranganore, is on the coast of the Arabian Sea. Although Thomas died in India, his body was removed and kept in Edessa for some time until the Muslims took the city of Edessa, and it was the body was transported out of that area to Constantinople and other places in Europe. Kodungallur is where Thomas is believed to have first disembarked upon India. In Palayur, there are the remains of the canal that Thomas took to arrive in this town. There are several monuments in addition to the church. Here, Thomas is believed to have converted and baptized several Brahmin, Hindu holy men. There are two pools at this location. One, behind the church, has models of Thomas preaching to the Brahmin and baptizing them. This pool, believed to have been used as the first baptistry in India, is still used every month for baptism. So this here in Palayur is a place where Thomas received his first converts, and they're baptized in this very pool. So this sculpture commemorates the first Christians who were baptized into Christianity.
Yeah, that's right. So the first, the first Christians, I already told, in every month, still baptism is going on in this pond. For each child of the parish is baptized in this pond.
So ever since Thomas, this is where Indian Christians like to come to get baptized, right?
Right.
At this location, there's a reconstruction of the cave that Thomas stayed in at Madras and models of his martyrdom. There's another pool a little ways in front of the church. This pool is near to a museum of Indian Christianity. In this pool, there's a boat with a life-size model of Thomas standing ready to disembark. Behind this pool is a large, approximately 50-foot tall statue of St. Thomas. So, even though the canal is not here anymore, they built this monument to the arrival of Thomas. So here we have Thomas getting off of the boat.
Canals are, remnants are there. You can see the remnants, but whole canal you can't see. The whole canal goes through this way. That way it goes like that. It doesn't now reach us in Kodungallur.
But this is where the actual spot where he arrived. So this is the place where Thomas first came, and you're saying that he converted Jews and Arabians and merchants who came here to trade.
Yeah.
In the first
There were
century.
merchants from 2nd BC onwards. 2nd century BC onwards. Here there were merchants and merchant settlements, Jewish as well as Arabians.
So that's probably part of the reason why this is a good place to bring the gospel.
Yeah, that's right.
Many people from around the world were coming here to trade in India.
That's right.
At the side entrance to the church, there are statues of major incidents from the life of Thomas from the Bible, the Acts of Thomas, and Indian tradition. Paravur is also called Katakavu, after the ancient fort upon which this church was built. There's a large cathedral here, with the original church in the back, preserved as a chapel. There is also the remains of a stone wall of an ancient fortress here. There are statues showing Thomas preaching to Brahmin, Jesus Christ appearing to Thomas while Thomas prays in the cave, baptizing Brahmin, similar to the statues at Kodungalar. The church at Kakamangalam is located beside a lake. There's a legend that Thomas erected a cross here. However, his enemies took down the cross and threw it into the lake. There it floated across the river, where it's found by Christians, and so the original cross is now kept in a church across the lake. At this location, there's a large stone cross featuring all of the 7 churches founded by Thomas at its base. This cross is at the lake shore. There are statues depicting incidents from the life of Thomas, but all of them from the Bible, and almost every statue depicts Jesus with Thomas. Malayator is sometimes called a half-church because, although associated with Thomas, it is not listed as the 7 churches founded by Thomas. This is more of a pilgrimage site. Thomas is believed to have prayed at the top of the mountain in Malayator. It is a 1-hour hike to the top of the mountain. Near the top of the mountain, there are a set of footprints and the stone believed to be those of the Apostle Thomas. In the town of Malayator is a church of St. Thomas, which is believed to be built over where he stayed when he ministered in Malayator. So those are the sites that I visited. Due to the shortness of the visit, it was not possible to visit all the churches of Thomas in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Naranan, Nilakal, and Kolam Quilon were not visited in the course of this project. Neither was Theravrimthum Code, a half-church in Tamil Nadu. There are also 2 shrines of Thomas in Chennai, formerly known as Madras, on the east coast of India in Tamil Nadu. St. Thomas Mount, where he is believed to have resided, in San Tome Cathedral, where it is believed this is believed to be the site of his original grave before his body was exhumed and transported to Edessa. There are other places associated with Thomas, which include Taxila in Pakistan, the island of Socotra, Damascus Gate in Damascus, and the city of Edessa in Turkey. So what we have are the 7 churches of St. Thomas in India. So Thomas is believed to have evangelized Kerala, and these 7 churches are the churches which he is believed to have founded. So let's look at this. The 7 churches of Thomas in India, these are Ila Rapakikal. Sorry, these Malayalam words are kind of difficult for me to say. So that's Ila Rapakikal. The 7 churches, the 7 full churches of St. Thomas in India include Kodungalore, which is Muziris, Kolam Palayur, Kakakayal, that's Katakayal, Kokamangalam, Niranam, and Nilakal. These are the full churches. These are the status of the 7 churches established by St. Thomas. Then we have the Arapalakal. These are lesser churches that are associated with Thomas, but not given the same status as that of the 7. They are also called half churches. And we have Thura Tham Kodi, Malayator, which I mentioned and went to, and then Arib Thura. Then we have the martyrdom sites in Tamil Nadu, which include St. Thomas Mount and the San Tome Basilica. So in all, there are 12 shrines associated with Thomas in India. Number 1, Kodungalore. Number 2, Kolam. Number 3, Palayur. Number 4, Katakalaya. And then we have Kokakamangalam, So, number 4, Katakayal. Number 5, Kokamangalam. Number 6, Niranam. Number 7, Nilakal. And then we'd add number 8 would be Therutham Kodi. Therutham Kodi would be number 8. Number 9 is Malayator. Number 10 would be Arifthura. And then number 11 would be St. Thomas Mount. And 12 is San Tome Basilica. So these are the 12 sites associated. These are the 12 sites associated with the apostolic visitation of the Apostle Thomas in India.